In this video, I am going to demonstrate the use of Google Spreadsheet to create spreadsheet models for your gauntlets. So once you log into Google Drive, you're going to see a screen that looks like this. The first thing I do is I create a folder for your gauntlets, and I'll just say My Gauntlets. Great. So that if you have other folders, you won't get multiple documents in different places. I'll go inside that, so it's empty. Then I'm going to say Create Spreadsheet. Okay. And a spreadsheet is basically a number processor. We can type in text here and equations and numbers to model different things. So the example I'm going to use is Gauntlet number 2, average acceleration. And basically I'm going to give you an angle for an incline, and you're going to predict mathematically the acceleration of a cart that goes down the incline. Okay. So I'll give you the basic format for all the gauntlets, and actually, again, first thing first, I'm going to name it. I'll say Gauntlet 2 average acceleration. Click OK. So save it. All right, it should appear right there. Okay. In cell B2, these are referred to as letter number. I'm going to say Gauntlet 2 average acceleration. Okay, and your name and the date, 28th of August 2013. Okay. I'm going to change the font size is a little small here, so I'm going to click between the A and the 1, the intersection of A and 1, and I'll make it 18 for this demo here. When you make text larger, obviously it's going to be too narrow for a cell. Each one of these is called a cell. So I'm going to move my mouse right between the B and C, so I get the arrow pointer and drag it over. Okay, looks like that did it. I'm going to change the format of the date. You can change number formats. Okay, I'll go to date. I like this one right there. And left aligned. All right, so that'll be in cell B2, B3, and B4. Okay. Spreadsheet has, or for gauntlets, have 4 basic parts. Number 1 is the input value or values. Okay. For this example, it's going to be the angle of the incline. I'm going to give you an angle for the incline, and you're going to determine the acceleration rate mathematically. So the input value is angle of incline. And I'll say 10 degrees and put the units here. Don't ever intermix a number with the text. They should be in separate cells, because we're going to perform mathematical calculations with these numbers, and so if you intermix text with the number, it will not read that as simply a number. Okay. Number 2, give myself some room here, are the calculations. Okay. And for this example, the acceleration rate of cart. The mathematical model I'm going to use for this simple example is equal to, it's an equation, 2 times, that's an asterisk, 10. So whatever degrees I give you, 2 times that the acceleration rate. That's probably not the right model, but for this example I'm going to use that. Meters per second squared. Okay. And before I go any further, I'm going to do some formatting. I'm going to highlight these 3 cells and make it yellow with a little border around it just to make it easier to read. And I'm going to highlight this, click the format painter, and apply it to this as well. So I get that. Okay. The third part is the output value or values. Okay. In this example, it's going to be the same thing, which so I'm going to say equals whatever that is. Excuse me, equals that one. Okay. Give myself the meters per second squared as well. Okay. To the format painter. Highlight that. And there you go. Again, in this case, it's repetitive because it's the same number, but in future gauntlets, more complex ones, you might have 2 or 3 calculations and 2 or 3 output values that are combinations of the calculations. So again, in this case, it's repetitive. It is the same thing. Future ones, it could be a little more complex than that. And finally, I'm going to, this time I'll just copy this, go down a couple spaces here. Number 4 is the tolerance. For each gauntlet, I usually give a 5% tolerance plus or minus the actual output value that you calculate to fall within. And so this example, I'm going to say single quote plus 5%. The reason why I put the single quote is because if I just put plus 5%, it might think it's a mathematical calculation, and although I'm just trying to type text. And you can see that quote actually disappears. It's actually right there and there, but when it shows in the spreadsheet, it's simply plus 5%. And so that is equal to 1.05 times that number. And copy that down. So you can see that 5% is 21. Okay, 10% would be 22, so there you go. And then minus 5% with the single quote equal to 0.95 times that number. And again, meters per second squared. All right. So that's your spreadsheet model. The reason why this is very powerful is because as you're testing your model, you can change the input values. Let's say I'll change it to 5 degrees. So when I hit enter, the acceleration rate, output values, and the tolerance levels will all recalculate. If I go 45 degrees, everything recalculates. If I go 80 degrees, everything recalculates. So I can do multiple tests, multiple trials, and see how close my model is to my actual calculations. So this is the basic format we're going to use for all of our gauntlets. Header information, input values, calculations, output values, and the tolerance level.